Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Oh,
You know this lady, yeah. Oh, she a realtor. Cool.
Jordan, you ready?
Yeah.
All righty, everybody. Every game, every era, every fan. You're listening to Squad Sportcast. Four brothers, one mic, all sports. All right. I need everybody to stop what you're doing and listen up. We got a big thank you to every last one of you guys. Every like, every view, and every subscription from the last episode, you made this episode a big hit, and we see you. You are part of this from the ground floor, and trust me, it's only getting bigger and better from here. Now, with that being said, the emergency committee just sent me their message, and they said we was on our best behavior. As a result, I'm sorry, they said that we were calm, polite, and technically almost boring, which means, unfortunately, there was no Crash King for last episode. But I need my fellas not to get comfortable because uh that streak is ending tonight. Um, yeah, I need y'all not to get comfortable at all. What we got on here is not a debate. We got fire, we got chaos, we got controversy. We got things that's gonna make some of us sweat. Mike already got some sweat on his forehead right now, and we got some stuff that's just gonna make us uncomfortable. We got opinions that about to clash, egos about to collide, and somebody gonna crash hard and take that title. Now, if you're watching, stay locked in. Don't scroll, don't blink. And if you haven't, smash that like button, subscribe, and join the ride. You want to say that you were here for this moment. Trust me on this. The tension starts now. The energy is real, and the fellas, as always, don't know what's coming. Let's get into it. Number one, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year. Brackets are getting busted. Cinderella is out there dancing somewhere, and somebody's championship dreams are about to get shattered on national television. March Madness is not just about a tournament, it is pressure, it is legacy, it is survive and advance basketball at its purest form. Every possession matters. Every mistake is magnified. One cold shooting night and a powerhouse team is going home. So the question is, are we watching greatness rise or chaos taking over? What team does the fellas believe can take it all? Jordan, you got the floor. Let me hear what you got to say.
All right. So as you know, March Madness. Come on, come on. All teams bring their A game. So you know there's gonna be some mid-majors that might cause some havoc. Now, as far as I know, I trust the Yoda. If you know who the Yoda is in the sports world, the Yoda, I trust anybody he says is a player. I haven't seen anybody from the mids, but I have a team. I'm a Duke guy, mind you, but Arkansas got a boy named Darius Acuff out there, Junior. He got 5 on his jersey. 22, 23, 6, and like 3. But he a born leader. He could score. His first step is crazy. He could shoot. He's close to a 50-40-80 split. You think of Stephon Marbury meets a little bit of Allen Iverson with that first step. He's really good. Even though they've lost some games, I think if when he's fully healed, he's going to play through tough games. He's going to get better. I think they could make some noise depending on their matchups because March Madness is all about matchups. You could be a great team, but come up on a conference team that just got on a roll, won the title, and now they got momentum. Like UMBC 8 years ago, who beat the number 1 team, Virginia, even though Virginia got their lick back the last year, the year after that, UMBC was the storyline of that year because they did the unthinkable. A 16 seed be the one. Now, are we going to have that again? I'm not sure. I am not sure. It depends on which one seed it is. We know it's not going to be Kansas for sure because Darren Peterson is taking the Kawhi Leonard playbook, taking a lot of PTO during games, mind you. He'll play for 25 minutes and they'll be like, nah, coach, I'm good. I'm good, man. Take me out. Yo, you can't at work just say, yo, I want to leave without possibly getting fired. I mean, you could take as much PTO as you want, but you're going to run out. He can't do that. I don't know if he's going to do that in the tournament. I don't know. But Arkansas is a little bit of my dark horse. I'm still a Duke guy, so I think we're going to have a good March Madness this year.
Okay. So, interestingly enough, I'm a Duke guy as well. I've been a Duke guy for a long time. I think Cameron Boozer should win Player of the Year. He's playing fantastic. I think the only competition there is AJ Abasanya from BYU. That boy has been balling. He should actually be in the competition for the number one pick. Cameron Boozer, though, reminds me a lot of his dad, Carlos Boozer, in regards to size, in regards to footwork. He's got a better shot, and he's more versatile in the paint. But Carlos Boozer, can't even forget, was actually a beast outside of painting his head. So I think that, of course, I'm a big Duke fan, and I think that they have a chance to win it all. What I will say is that there's been a lot of upsets recently in regards to number one seeds going down, and I don't even mean in the tournament right now. I mean like the number one team, like Michigan State, I think was number one, and
You're talking about Michigan.
Michigan, yeah, Michigan lost, and Duke
Who they lose
lost,
to?
and then right. So
who they lose to again, Mike?
I'm pretty sure I lost to Duke, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah, Duke.
I'm a Duke fan, so that's okay. Yeah. Listen, we're on the same page. We good, right? This not the situation where like you rooting for Bama or something. I'm a Duke fan, so we good, right?
Now we good.
But what I'll say is that the tournament is unpredictable. I remember back when we were in college when Norfolk State upset Missouri as a 15 seed beating a 2 seed. That was one of the and an HBCU at that. That was one of the biggest upsets in history until UMBC beat Virginia, which was a crazy anomaly. I think that the brackets are unpredictable. It really depends on, again, as Jordan said, seeding, but also not even first round seeding. Your second round seeding could be a critical matchup, like a 7-10 split, which could really determine the entire bracket of the entire tournament. A couple of years ago, Auburn went to the national title. They lost, but they went. And then the year before that, they went to the Final Four. And Bruce Pearl was a hell of a coach. I'm sorry that he's not coaching anymore, but he got older, so you know how that goes. All the legends kind of aged out, like your Bob Knights, your Coach K, and your Bruce Pearl, and just got all the guys, right? So that was kind of a changing of the guard. They still got John Calipari still out there, right, coaching it up, right? There's a Memphis is always kind of interesting, right, in that space, and then I think there's going to be quite a few upsets. Once the bracket comes out, I'll have probably better, more astute predictions. But my better prediction is that I think that this is kind of my bold take of the day. AJ Abasanya should win the Wooden Award as the Player of the Year over Cameron Boozer. So
I will say though, since we're talking about March Madness and some wonders, if you remember, like there's always some guy that's the star player of a mid team. Let's say that there may be an 8, 9, 10 seed that just goes off. Some teams and some players I remember over the years. If you remember Kansas State a couple of years ago, Marquise Noel from the crib in New York, he was a 5'7" point guard. He was cooking Kentucky. Bro, I was watching the game. I'm like, who is this guy cooking them? And I'm like, oh, he from up top. I'm like, they went to I think the Elite Eight, either Elite Eight or Final Four. St. Peter's Peacocks, the only 15, and I mean the only 15 seed to make it to the Elite Eight, even though they lost against those Tar babies. I don't like them. I don't like North Carolina. That in case you don't know, we had a couple of 16 wins. UMBC, Fairleigh Dickinson. I had not heard of Fairleigh Dickinson until that day. So you got a whole lot of potential upsets that could happen. Like Mike was saying, and I was saying that one seed. I'm looking forward to seeing who that one seed is that's going to get upset. And back to the Norfolk State, Missouri. What was so special about that was one of the best seasons Norfolk State had. I believe they won the MEAC outright and the tournament. But also the Missouri team they were supposed to be a number one seed, but I think they had fell short. But they were one of the top four or five teams in the country. Their guard set was crazy. They were scoring, but they were so short on the front court. And our team was very tall. And there was a lot of three-point shooting, a lot of board crashing. And as they kept up, I remember that game like it was yesterday because I had just gotten admitted to Norfolk State right at that time. And the three-point shooting, I think it was, what's his name, McKeechin, 35? He was going off. The three-pointers kept that team in the game. And it's the beauty of it is that as you have a boxer's chance, as long as you keep yourself in the game, don't lose by more than 7. 7 is your magic number for the second half. If you can stay within 7, you have a chance, even if you're the underdog team. I'm just looking forward to next month.
So I need to give y'all a little background information. So all of us that's right here right now, all 3 of us attended Norfolk State. Behold the green and the gold. So all of us was around. I think this is the year that, matter of fact, Mike and Callie, they went off to it was Alabama at that time or Atlanta?
No, that was 2013. 2012, they were still there.
Oh, they were still there? They're still there? Oh,
yeah. I came there in 2012 in the fall.
All right, cool.
So, no, I graduated in 2010.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He was still graduating. He's still graduated.
Yeah, I was in New York.
But yeah, so I was there. Jordan was there. We was in the game room. Shout out my game room peeps. I was playing spades, smacking them up, talking about their mamas and everything. Trust me, I was. Then we turned on the matchup because we knew they was up. They were saying, "Oh, NSU might shot. They ahead right now." So we turned the TV on. I think it was like 79-70, I think at the time. Then all of a sudden, they got to the free throw line, made a couple free throws, came back. They got a defensive rebound. They knocked the 3 down. It was like 80. It was 83. I think they got another foul, and then they got another 2-pointer. It was 86-81. And we thought that was over with. And then Bud came through. Who was that guy? He was the what's his called there? I forget who it was. But then
talking about Missouri, Norfolk State?
Yeah.
Phil Presley.
Laced that 3. Yeah, laced the 3. And we was like, oh, snap. They just got to keep the pressure on. They got to keep the pressure on. So then they made, no, it was 84. It was like 84,
84. That was the final.
No, I'm saying it was like 80, 84, 85 because they made one free throw and missed the other. Yeah. And then he missed that last 3-pointer and NSU went crazy. I'm talking about everybody was friends that day. The young, the old, the meek, the mild, the players, the pimps, the pimpettes, everybody. I say all that to say I don't really watch college basketball a whole lot. If I did watch college basketball, I probably would have been a UNC fan. It is what it is. Don't chew me out for it. This ain't what y'all want. But with that being said, I think I'm gonna go with Duke so far because defensively they are one of the top teams out there defensively. But just like you guys have already made mention, it always depends on seeding. It depends heavily on seeding. I don't think they'll get a matchup with like Michigan. I think Michigan will probably get another 1 seed on like the other side of the bracket, or they may see them again in like the Final Four.
Yeah, Michigan's schedule will be a number 1 seed.
Yeah, they're gonna be a number 1 seed. I'm not worried too much about that, but it's definitely going to depend on where the seeding is. Because again, part of it is these underdogs are going to play. They're going to try to break back the break. They're going to try to break it back because that's what it's all about. Um, I just don't know about like I said, I don't know too much about college scene. I'm just going to go with Duke because of them beating Michigan right now. They're having essentially the best record out there and them having a top defensive rating. So that's all I have on the matter. But what I do have set up for y'all is one of the best Keep 3 Cut 5s in history. That's what I do have. So we got Keep 3 Cut 5, best NCAA champions of all time.
Ooh.
I got a list. This
Hold
may
on.
not be inclusive, but I got a list of arguably 8 of the best champions of all time. And as always, Jordan and Mike got to figure out who they going to keep. All right? We going to start it off and start it off strong. First on the list, 2020 to 2021, Baylor.
Cut. They were a good team, but I wouldn't put them
They
in that
beat us.
top
They
three.
beat us to get into the championship at Cut.
Yeah.
They were a non-factor.
Did they won that year? I mean,
They won it.
Baylor won. Yeah,
They're not even
Well, these are
memorable to me,
champions.
to be honest.
All right.
I don't know a single person on that team that went to the league. I think VJ
Davion
Edgecombe was
Mitchell.
there. Davion
Yeah,
Mitchell
I
was
was
there.
From
Okay.
the Miami Heat.
Yeah, they're not a memorable team. I'm a cut.
Next on the list, the UConn Huskies, 2010, 2011.
Was that a Nika
Stars.
Cardiac Kimba.
Oh, that's
Yep,
the
Kemba
Kemba
Walker.
Oh, we keeping that. They was going crazy. That's when they was going against McNamara and Syracuse in the Big Ten tournament. And then Syracuse won the Big Ten tournament, but then UConn was still the 1 seed, and then UConn won the tournament. And Syracuse made it to the final 8 that year, if I'm not mistaken. And Kemba Walker was going crazy. The only team there's a couple teams that would be better than that team when I go back and I'm thinking historically. One of them is the Duke team, of course, and I'm a Duke fan. Another one is one of those UNC teams. There's a couple of really good UNC teams that was out there. Another one would have been that UVA team that beat Auburn for the title. Then it would have been that Florida team was loaded and stacked back in the day with Joakim Noah and them boys. But I think that I would keep this one. What do you think, Jordan?
Yes, we're going to keep UConn 2010, 2011. That was the Cardiac Kimba year. If people didn't remember, I think that was the year that he had that buzzer beater against Pittsburgh in the Garden. I'm not sure if that was the same year or it was close to, but they made a run to win the Big East tournament. They were not favored to win it at all. And then they went on one of the craziest tears to the championship I've seen. I think they were either, I think between a 3 and a 6 seed, one of those. And they put BTA. They were going ham. Like I said, a team gets momentum like that, and anything can happen. Kemba, yeah, that's the reason he got into the league. Don't get me wrong, he's one of New York City's best point guards. But as far as his stamp to the league, that was his stamp.
Man, you're going to have to give you don't know how good this player was. You might have to do that, Jordan. You might have to do that. But we're keeping the Huskies. Next on the list, I'm so glad y'all mentioned them because they are next on the list. 2002 to 2003, Syracuse.
Ooh, that's Melo's year, right?
That's Melo.
Yes, it is.
So Melo was the heart and soul of that team. They didn't really have a lot of depth, to be honest. Melo kind of carried them. He was averaging like 27 points a game. Um, he was a phenom freshman there. I would cut them because as a whole team, I think they could have been beat by multiple other iterations. For example, that Huskies team that we just mentioned, I think could have beat them. I think Baylor would have been competitive with them just because they had a better size differential. I think that a UConn team or the NC team or even the Gonzaga team that lost in the title game would have beat them. Is what I say. I think that they were a great story. I don't think that they were the best team I've seen. What do you think, Jordan?
He was the most outstanding player for 2003. I'm not sure if he's the only freshman to win most outstanding, but considering the fact that he was a one and done and he did it with Syracuse, whom doesn't have that many teams that are worth noting besides teams that had like Johnny Flynn in that 6 overtime game again. I think it was against UConn. But I it's Melo. I mean, hometown, Brooklyn's finest. I still would probably cut only because it was just Melo, and I don't remember anybody else from that team.
That's
And
what I said.
I'm the almanac of the crew, so like I would know, but I don't remember anybody from Melo.
You might be the almanac when it comes to basketball more so, but not when it comes to football because you
Yeah,
just
no, y'all got that.
sucker.
Y'all got football.
Don't worry, we got it. We got you on the football takes. We got you. We got you. We can carry, but we gonna see. But we cutting. Look, Melo
Out of
did
there.
great during your freshman year, but with respect, gotta get out of here. Next on the list, 1966 to 67, UCLA.
This is with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's an easy keep. That team was fantastic under John Wooden. They had the best coach of all time. They had the best college player of all time. They had probably one of the best players of all time in general with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which for me, again, if we do my Mount Rushmore, he's number 3 on my list, behind LeBron and then Jordan. But the captain was I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he won as a 4-time champ in high school, and then a 4-time or 3-time champ in college because I think he left his junior year, and then was a multiple-time champ. He's the most winningest player to ever play as far as like that level. I'm gonna easily keep them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I can't think of another player in any of these games that you're going to talk about that in the championship game was better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You could probably think Larry Bird, but Larry Bird lost to Magic, and Magic wasn't a better player than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in college specifically.
Yeah.
He was
As far as
unstoppable.
college, yeah.
He was unstoppable, and I don't think he was a better player in the NBA either, to be honest with you. But because his career got cut short because of AIDS. But what I will say is that that I don't know anybody else on that team, but I'm gonna pick Kareem Abdul-Jabbar over everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Kareem too because he's a master class when it comes to winning in the college basketball regime, and we're not picking him just because it's the year 6'7". So for all you little kids that might be watching, no, we're not picking it because of that. We're picking it because he was great. He was bona fide. He was that guy. So yes, we're keeping UCLA 1967, not 1967. We ain't gonna give y'all that.
All right. Well, we're keeping UCLA. Next on the list, 1991, 1992, Duke Blue Devils.
This is the year with Shane Battier, right?
No. Was this the year where Christian Laettner made that buzzer beater against Kentucky?
Yeah.
Because they were finna lose that game. And
I don't think that team was that good comparatively. Of all the Duke iterations, they were on the lower end. There were some teams. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned that North Carolina team that had Anthony Davis and them boys. Was that North Carolina or was that?
No, that was Kentucky, 2012.
That Kentucky
Good Lord.
team was
that
wild.
Team.
Good and then Lord. North Carolina had a team that was pretty stout too. I can't remember which one it was, but I don't know how I got. They're both blue and white. That's why I got that confused. My bad. But yeah, that Kentucky team,
blue and white.
That Kentucky team would be all of them. So I'm gonna easily and humbly and respectfully eliminate that Duke team. And I'm a Duke fan, but I don't think that was one of the best teams ever.
92. I wouldn't say that they were the best Duke team.
They had Grant Hill that year.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so they had Grant Hill, they had Christian Laettner. Shane Battier came afterward. I'm thinking then.
Way after.
Okay, they didn't have. This is before JJ Redick as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
They were solid on the wing, but no, that team would lose to a couple of the other teams we've already eliminated.
Keep in
Christian
mind,
Laettner, Grant Hill, Bobby Hurley, and senior Brian Davis. Yeah, we're gonna cut them
respectfully.
respectfully, and Christian Laettner was a National Player of the Year, so
Yeah,
we're still gonna cut. He was college basketball usually has those players that were great in that realm, but they never really panned out into the league.
like Adam Morrison.
I was just about to say his name, the Adam Morrisons of the world, the Sean Mays. Um, he
Yeah.
would have been Sean May would have been a beast in this era. If he could run, he would have been crazy good. But
Zion Williamson's.
Nah,
Zion is still good because he's averaging like 22 and 6. He's actually been a lot healthier this year compared to others. We'll give him a pass.
So good.
Okay. All right, Mister. We'll give him a pass. But with the Blue Devils, with respect, gotta go to the shadow round. Next on the list, these last three are going to be fun. 2008 to 2009, UNC Tar Heels.
But I don't care.
That Rashad McCants year?
No.
Nope. Tyler
No.
Hansborough, Ty Lawson, Wayne
Psycho
Ellington, and Danny Green.
They had Tyler Hansborough looking like way better than he actually was. I wasn't really a fan of that team. I thought that he was talented, but they tried to make him look like he was Cooper Flagg back then. And Tyler Hansborough was definitely not that good.
Wait, hold on. You said Tyler Hansborough was compared to Cooper Flagg?
No.
Well, I'm about to say, bruh.
The time frame wouldn't be accurate there. What I'm saying is that the hype that was around Tyler Hansborough was similar to the hype that was around Cooper Flagg.
Yeah,
which
I'm like, ain't no way in hell. They had two different player profiles. Tyler Hansborough was a big that could crash the boards and dunk. He couldn't do much of anything else. He could barely shoot, but he could get the crowd going.
But the hype of Tyler Hansborough was very similar to the hype of Cooper Flagg.
Yeah. That we could do that.
They're both actually 6'9". Cooper Flagg is a much better talent and more talented offensively, but Tyler Hansborough actually was pretty solid on the defensive end, and he was better on the boards. And also, Tyler Hansborough had the momentum. Tyler Hansborough to me was like the Tim Tebow of college football.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say that too.
He was all hype, and people loved him, but he wasn't like the best player. And when he got to the league, he did get exposed.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they gotta go. Sorry, Tar babies.
Sorry, Tar Heels. You gotta go. Banished to the shadow rounds. Next on the list, we got two names left. One keep and one cut. Y'all gonna hate me for these next two names. Next on the list, 2011, 2012, Kentucky.
I'm keeping that. I don't give a damn who else is next. I'm keeping that to him.
Is that the Anthony Davis year?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
That was the best team in college football, in college basketball I've ever seen. Besides Kansas, that year that they played in the national title. And then
you talking about 2008, 2009? Ain't no way. No, Kentucky was better.
Besides that Florida team was loaded. That Joakim Noah team, and Al Horford was up there, and them boys. That team was loaded. But those are only two teams that come to mind that could possibly even remotely compete with that Kentucky team. That Kentucky team was fantastic. I'm going to.
Yes. I want you to consider the roster and some of the NBA names that you're going to hear me say. Darius Miller, Terrence Jones. Hold on. We going in. Anthony Davis is one. Michael Kidd Gilchrist, the guy that shoots like this. That guy. Yes. Deron Land. We got Anthony Davis. Marcus Teague, brother Jeff Teague, 520 podcast. Kyle Whitger. That team, Anthony Davis alone carried that team. And I think they only lost once. That team was lethal. Louisville almost had them. I think it was Louisville that almost had them in the Final Four. I think or Elite Eight, one of those. Final Four or
lost twice.
Yeah. Louisville lost twice, right?
No, Kentucky lost twice.
Kentucky lost twice, yes. But I think Louisville gave them a run for their money that year. But Louisville got their look back the year after. That was almost a perfect season. But that Kentucky team, my goodness.
Ooh. All right. So consensus keep, right?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. Keep 3 Cut 5 edition. NCAA champions of all time. You had The 2021 Baylor, they were cut. 2011 UConn Huskies, we kept. Syracuse 2003, they were cut. UCLA 67, we kept. Duke, we cut. UNC, cut. And Kentucky Wildcats, we kept. Your last cut is the back-to-back champions, 2006-2007 Florida Gators team.
I mean, I know you had Joakim Noah, you had Al Horford, you had Corey Brewer, but they were boring.
I'm gonna call what I'm gonna say is Nick is disrespectful because that should have been an earlier team.
They were boring. No.
For the record, them being boring ain't got nothing to do with them being champions. Ain't got nothing to do with how good of a team they was. Ain't got nothing to do with how talented they were. Ain't got nothing to do with how great that front court was. Nick is disrespectful for that order. But either way, I would have still kept that Kentucky team. I might have gotten rid of the UConn team with Kimba, and then I would have replaced them with the that Florida team. But that's okay.
Yeah, because they were back to back. They're the last team to actually go back to back.
Now I'm still taking what is it? Kentucky. I'm still taking the 3 that we got. I don't care if they were back to back like Drake. They would. It was kind of Snoresville. I think they blew out whoever they played in the championship both times, so it wasn't really anything competitive.
Well, before we get into the next debate, if you're rocking with the conversation that we're having so far tonight, do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join the squad.
It's free. Share.
We just crossed over 30 subscribers. It is free. We don't ask anything of you. We just appreciate every single one of you. On the road to 100 subscribers. If you enjoy real sports debates without the sports takes, this is the place to be. Even though we sometimes get a little takes from here and there. Topic number 2, we kind of touched on this last episode, so I wanted to make sure we spent time on it this episode. We see and we celebrate the buzzer beaters, the trophies, the champions. Mm-hmm. But what we don't see is the pressure behind the scenes, the anxiety, the criticism, the weight of the expectation from millions and millions of fans. Athletes today are not just players, they're brands, influencers, public figures are under 24/7, 365 scrutiny. And the conversation around mental health in sports is louder than ever. The question I have for the fellas is, should athletes be expected to push through mental struggles like past generations, or is stepping away from the sport a sign of strength and not weakness?
I'll lead off on this. That's fine. I think it depends on the sport and it depends on the timing. And I love you. Depends on the sport and it depends on the timing. Because if we in the Final Four and you need to take a mental health break, you can kick rocks. I'm sorry. We're going to need for you to toughen up. All right? Take a Xanax and keep it moving. If we are in the college football national championship, have Fernando Mendoza said, I got to take a mental health break. Indiana's going for their first national championship in their career. He would have been vilified for the rest of his life. I think the moments matter. And context matters. Do I think mental health matters? Absolutely. I see a therapist myself. We should all, take advantage of that opportunity because it's about being better as opposed to being it's about being better as opposed to being broken. So I think it matters. I think it's highly recommend that they take their mental health days. But I think that sometimes it's like sometimes it comes off as if they're scared of something. It's like fear of them not winning or them not keeping their stats or them not having the draft being as draftable as they would be, something like that. And if that's the case, then they need to operate a bit differently. But I don't like the whole tough it out mantra. I think it has its space, but I think again it has to come down to timing, context, and the type of sport that it is.
I believe mental health is very important for athletes. They need to make sure they have a specialist with the team that travels with them, so that way anytime there's a there's a need for them, they'll be there. But if you finna do what's that dude's name from the Bills that just quit at halftime? Was it Vontae Davis or something like that?
I think it was
Yeah,
Vontae
it was
Burfict.
Vontae Davis.
Oh,
Von,
Vontae Davis.
No, it wasn't
if,
Burfleck.
if
Burfleck
you
was
do it, if you
different.
do a Vontae Davis,
Or
we
an
gonna have
Antonio
some smoke.
Brown.
Yeah, we gonna have some smoke if after the game because you're not gonna quit on us at halftime. We're gonna need you to get through it because you're not just quitting on us. You're quitting on the whole team, the franchise, the everybody, and you're quitting on yourself. I know mental health is important. Trust me, depression is a thing. People have hard times getting over it. Sometimes you don't know when you have it. You just think you're going through the motions, but it is actual depression that you're going through or depressive episode. I get it, but don't no. There's a time and a place. You need to really be mindful when you're having these episodes. If you're able to keep it together for your team, because those moments right then and there could really change lives, not just yours, but others too. It could change your teammates' lives, it could change your coaches' lives, your front office's lives, the city's lives. Championships have revitalized cities. I mean, people still don't want to go to Cleveland. Let's not get it mistaken. But those teams, the team that won the title that year, 2016, it helped that city. They'll forever remember that. I can only imagine how LeBron James probably felt at being down 3-1. Mentally, it was probably one of the hardest things he's ever had to go through. But they found a way to make it through, right? So, yeah, while mental health is important and it's a game changer, leaving it in the middle of the game, no, absolutely not.
All right. I guess I'll end it out. Let's round it out, shall we? There's a lot of things that as a professional athlete you go through. You have to go through the weight of possibly being the first person to ever see money like that. Because you're going to be the first person to have generational wealth. Like you're going to be the first person to touch that type of money because your parents never saw it. Your grandparents never saw it. Your immediate family never saw that type of money. The most they've seen is maybe $10,000 on their tax refund. So it's a lot because you have to deal with the pressure of being essentially the head of household for not even your immediate family, for your mother and father, for your aunt and uncle, for your cousins who's going to come out the woodworks and say, "Hey, what up, cuz?"
They had households at 19.
Yes, head of households at 19. And on top of it, that's just the family aspect. Then we get to move on to your personal aspect. You have either a girlfriend or a boyfriend or fiance or wife that is going to now look towards you to take care of them because y'all are here now. Like, and regardless of if you split or not, they have their own thing that they have to deal with. But now you're technically, not legally, but technically responsible for that person's well-being. And that's just on the lover side. Then you have the fact of, and what I made mention to earlier, you're a brand now. Whatever you say or do becomes public criticism because what you say might be misconstrued as what the team says. And that's how you get cut. And then if you get cut, you're losing all that money that you just lost. So you have to always be thinking up here because you could say something wrong here and mess up that generational money.
I got a perfect example for you currently. John Morant. Those gun videos
But
messed
see,
up his contract money, messed up his endorsements. And now teams don't even want to touch him with a 10-foot pole. He has been labeled as untradeable.
I get it, but he still technically got his money. But he's essentially like left alone by himself. We talked about this.
Future
The
money.
poor man by himself.
No,
Future
guarantee money
yes.
was gone. That guarantee money is gone. Like, there's no guarantee he's going to get that money or be able to spend the block back and get a deal like that. The money that he was guaranteed, if all he had to do was just show up and not post anything online, he would be rolling in dough. He would still have his sneaker deals. But I can only imagine the mental wear and tear that has to go through in your head for you to fumble that.
But then
and
also
still
you
come
have,
to work.
then you still have the issue of performing because sports betting is a thing. Look at how they did Tyler Loop at the end of the season. The man is a rookie kicker. A rook at best, the man is 25 years old. Rookie kicker, he misses. And now he's getting death threats. He getting, his wife's getting attacked. Kevin Patullo, being the office coordinator for Philly, he got his house TP'd and egged. Like, there's a lot.
Russell Westbrook's wife got a very nasty note sent to her DM, and kind of a death threat wish to her husband, to Westbrook himself. So it gets real crazy in these streets.
So I think to y'all's point, I think those are fair points, but I think that's commonplace, and it kind of goes hand in hand with celebrity. People are unable to separate the celebrity and the human, and I think that at the core, the thing is that we have to understand that we're humans first before anything else, and there needs to be a level of grace that's allowed in order for us to operate in that fashion. Competitiveness and betting and sports betting kind of changes that. Don't get me wrong. I kicked a hole in the wall, like I said, when Larry Fitzgerald scored that touchdown against the Steelers when the Steelers ended up back and winning that Super Bowl. So I get it. I've been there. But I don't think that taking the additional step of a death threat or the additional step of hurting someone or the additional step of a letter or threatening someone or whatever, that just doesn't seem like it has a role in the game. Now, Bill, the guy that had the ball roll through his legs for the World Series, back when the Red Sox, or that, or Bill Bartman, who caught that ball in the crowd and ruined I think it was the Mets' chances of the pennant. Some of those, I'm not saying they're warranted death threats. I'm just saying they're more expected because of how big those moments are. But missing the field goal against the Steelers, we knew that the Steelers was going to make it to the playoffs and then get destroyed. We knew that. I told you they were going to make it to the playoffs and then they were going to destroy it. I've been calling that the whole season. Just like next year, we not making it to the playoffs and we just getting destroyed. And then Jordan's going to have to shave his head. So
the actual bet, ladies and gentlemen, was 50 push-ups on demand.
Don't lie to them, Jordan. The actual bet is that Jordan has to shave his eyebrows and his head.
No, Mike. I'm not doing it. He said y'all agreed on 50 push-ups.
And
y'all agreed
Jordan
on 50
body hair.
And you guys are going to get 11 wins.
and Jordan shaving all body hair.
Absolutely not. Body hair. Absolutely not.
With a butter knife, a warm butter knife.
Yo, what? You know what? Let me finish my point. The point is, I do agree with Jordan's point of making sure, number one, that teams are going to have to make sure that they have, mental health therapists there with them because it's a lot that people have to deal with. So at the end of the day, please, again, as your extended family, please, if you're watching this broadcast, please understand there's help out here. We do appreciate you. You are loved. You are supported. Please get the help that you need. All right. With that being said, we're going to move on to our next topic. And this is one I've been waiting for since we started this broadcast. And Jordan, your time has come. I need you front and center. Because we're going to be honest. We've all done it. Draft night. You confident, you did the mock drafts, did the research, you watched the preseason, you watched the college, you feeling like a GM, and then you pick the wrong guy. The breakout star you passed on goes crazy. First round, your first round pick gets hurt. Or worse, you you overthink it and you outsmart yourself. Fantasy football glory can turn into embarrassment very quickly. So tonight, we're talking draft regrets, the reaches, the bust, the what was I thinking type drafts. Jordan, you are on front because we are talking about your Justin Fields pick in a money league draft. I mean, we gonna come later with ours, but Jordan,
He might
we
have
got
another one.
to
He
hit
got
this.
multiples of them.
No. The unforgivable one right now is picking Justin Fields as a starting quarterback in a fantasy football money league draft. I
Dynasty
got to
league.
hear
Ain't
this
it
story.
Dynasty league?
I hope it wasn't Dynasty.
It was Dynasty, wasn't it? It was Dynasty. Look at how sober he is.
It was Dynasty.
Oh my God! Oh,
Oh no! You still suffering right now from that one pick.
bro.
It's been 3 years. I'm still suffering.
Bruh, you can't even get a first round for him.
Bro, you can't even get a third rounder for him.
For money, though. For money. This thing blows my mind. For money.
You know what it is, though? I'm going to tell you. Jordan is actually in a charity league. So he donates the money every year. It's like ain't this for leukemia or something like that? One of those breast cancer awareness or I don't know. Jordan,
All I know is
what
It's
charity
been
you
3
support this year.
years since that happened.
If we got a spot, Jordan, you can donate to this charity right here.
Tell us what charity you support, Jordan.
You could join our squad and donate.
Make a wish foundation. You need to make a wish about Justin Fields' career.
I need you to join this charity, Jordan. Join this charity. Donate to my back-to-back out here.
Listen,
donate
that ain't
to
happening.
my back-to-back.
I hope you know you got lucky this past year.
I know we have a defend that sir moment, so allow me to have the soapbox to defend the reason I made that pick.
And you know what? It's all you. It's all you.
Free. I need to hear this logic.
I wish I had a glass of wine with this too, because this is trauma. So this was when Justin Fields initially got into the league. This was 2023, and he was on the Bears. I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's a mobile quarterback. He can throw. He's got a cannon of an arm. On the Bears, I think this was his second year, actually. I'm thinking he could wreak havoc. You know, he could do some damage. They experimented, and I'm like, okay, he's going to do good. Either he got injured or the offensive line just pissed the bed, pissed down their leg. I don't know. That team just did horrible. I don't know what Justin Fields' stats were for 23-24. Actually, if you give me a second, I'm going to bring up his stats for 23-24 because I want you to know how bad I suffered. He barely had 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But the team was still garbage. I still suffered. I was last in the league. I've been last in this dynasty league for 3 years. I barely won 2 games all together. I'm still playing in the league because I'm trying to go the OKC route.
Because it's a Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Stockpile on drafts. Stockpile on draft picks. Make sure I get the best players. And then go on a tear like no other and get everybody's money.
When we thinking this gonna happen, what's your time frame? Like 9 more years? I think you're gonna be you're a new Browns fan.
I'm hoping the next 3.
I don't know about that.
I'm hoping the next 3 or 4 years.
paying money.
That one choice.
Thank
That
goodness
one choice.
it's only $50.
That
Because
one
if it was
choice
like
put this man out for
150,
$6 years, bro.
I would have lost my mind if it was $150. But it's only a $50 add-in entry. Thank goodness, because oh my goodness, I thought he was going to be good, and he's been terrible ever since. I try to root for him, like Tyra. We was rooting for you. I've been rooting for this guy to have a
Not
good
Tyra
year.
Banks, though.
I've been trying for years to root for this guy, and every single time.
He was pretty good with the Steelers comparatively.
I mean,
For
when
his
you
4
play
games.
half quarters, you can only do but so well. I mean, they didn't want him to throw the ball, so he had no choice but to run. That's why he looked so good.
He had a 300-yard passing game with the Steelers and 3 touchdowns.
Every broke clock is right twice a day. So I didn't trust that game. The way that they say trust Justin Fields is the same way I don't trust the Chargers. I don't trust anything Los Angeles Chargers related. I don't trust anything Harbaugh related. I need to now no longer trust anything Justin Fields related. Like he's in that list of be gone. Like, be gone. I'm still suffering from that pick. The whole league is in shambles
we should
anyway.
upgrade the bet. I think if the Steelers win less than 11 games, which I know is going to happen, we're going to probably win like 6 games. Then I think that you should have to buy a Justin Fields jersey and wear it on the podcast to show your love for your boy, along with shaving all your body hair, and then you can
You
just
know
hold
what?
the push-ups.
I'm actually with that. I'm
will-
with that as well. We have to add that. We have to add that as the requirement.
The Justin
It's for
Fields,
both of y'all.
no, the Justin
It has to be
Fields
for
jersey. Okay, shaving my hair, no,
Shave all your body hair.
no,
You gotta be hairless like a naked mole rat.
no, no,
Like a Kim Possible episode.
absolutely not.
That'd be
Listen,
hilarious.
This is who we
I
were
will
talking
add
about.
the Justin Fields portion to the bet, the jersey.
You might as well
Listen.
buy it now because the Steelers ain't winning no 11
You got
games.
to understand
They're gonna
who
win
was
11
in
games.
the league. You got to look at who was in the league at this point in time. You passed on. Well, most likely, here was the five quarterbacks that you probably couldn't take. Josh Allen, you probably couldn't take him. Jalen Hurts, you probably couldn't take him. Pat Mahomes, you probably couldn't take him. Lamar Jackson, probably couldn't take him. And Joe Burrow. No, wait, I take that back. Because you was the 5th pick. You said you was middle of the pack.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you, I got the list of quarterbacks that were taken before.
No, tell what you picked in the first round.
I have the list of the quarterbacks that were drafted before I was able to pick. So Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, because I had to get a receiver first. Jalen Hurts, then Trevor Lawrence, and then I had Justin Fields as the 6th. That was the 6th quarterback taken out.
So Jackson was still available.
The quarterbacks that were left were, oh God. This is
it's gonna hurt.
Deshaun Watson, before the massages, Deshaun Watson, Tua Tagovailoa, Aaron Rodgers, pre-ACL injury. We didn't know if he was going to tear his ACL. Dak Prescott.
Dak, that hurts.
Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, rookie CJ Stroud.
That hurts.
Kyler Murray.
Bryce
Young was not going to do nothing. Detroit. Jared Goff.
Damn.
Those were the after ones. Those were after.
Goodness. Dang, it sounded even worse.
It does. Because Kyler Murray that year was good. That was the year. That year. That was the year.
Dak Prescott's been
I'm not even going to tell you the quarterbacks I picked after Justin Fields. It was a disaster.
Dak Prescott has been money all this time, and Jared Goff has been a top 3, top 5 quarterback. Man, you messed up.
I was lucky to get Derek Carr in a trade. I know I got Derek Carr in a trade in the
And
Oh
then he
wow.
retired.
Yeah, one,
Mhm.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th round. So I mean, I tried to salvage what was a horrible draft because this was the lineup. Like I
was this their
shared.
startup draft? Like this was like
This was the fantasy the first dynasty league I was
the
in.
first draft for the Dynasty League
Yes,
as a
CD
startup.
CD Lamb.
Wait, is this a 12 man?
I think it's 12 men. CD
It's a
Lamb.
PPR league.
Yes,
Okay.
CD Lamb. Wait, CD Lamb. Oh, this is bad. I DeAndre Swift, Darren Waller, Amari Cooper,
Oh my God.
Christian
What?
Watson,
Oh Lord.
J- David Njoku, Jahan Dotson. It wound up being a Jahan
Jahan
Dotson.
Dotson.
These were the receivers that were left.
Oh my.
You got to forgive me, world. Antonio Gibson, with Derek Carr, Jerick McKinnon, CJ Stroud was wound up being a pick for me. Jacoby Myers, Wandale Robinson. No. Wait.
These are people you
I'm
picked
sorry.
or this
I'm
people
sorry. No. I'm sorry. Wrong team. Jalen Hyatt, Chase Edmonds. These names are horrible. Tyler Higbee, Chris Rodriguez, who's not doing anything for the Commanders. Marvin Jones, Miko Harmon, Boston Scott, Trey Lance, um, Devontae Parker, Noah Gray, Calvin Austin, Dorian Thompson Robertson, Austin Hooper. That team, I lost everything that year. I every single thing. I won one league, but this fantasy league I lost.
Oh,
It's
clearly
okay.
you lost.
Yeah, you were losing for a couple of years.
You've been
Three
losing for
years is
3
not
years
enough.
so far.
Yes,
You should have the number one pick the next 3 years.
You
yeah.
can't.
Like as far as the standings go, I've oh my goodness, I was in the last place league. Yeah, the last place league, and I barely beat the person that wound up being last place. So I that's my salvage moment. I didn't finish in last place.
Bro,
So
that sounds horrendous.
we gonna at least take it off of you for a moment because I'm still blown on
We
how
need a moment of
why.
silence for your team.
Listen. We gonna put you on. We gonna put you on. Hopefully you pay attention to what we've been doing because I want a money league. Mike's won a lot of money leagues, so we gonna get you right, Jordan. We gonna get you right. My
Yeah.
biggest regret so far in the league was drafting JJ McCarthy.
I'm in
And
my league.
Ooh.
now
And I told you not to do it.
keep in mind, I had the first pick, the fourth pick, and the fifth pick in that same year. Yes, I did my thing. I did my GM thing. My name was Howie Roseman Sr. out here. I was doing work, the Lord's work. So
Still lost.
I didn't lose because my first pick I got. But hey, keep in mind, I made the playoffs this year. I made the playoffs in that league. So you can say what you want to. And JJ McCarthy actually was kind of clutch for me in a couple of them games.
I'm pretty sure I
So
won that league. And I'm pretty sure I told you not to pick JJ McCarthy.
you won that year, but I still made playoffs. And I was actually one game from the playoffs with them, even with them. But JJ McCarthy ended up hurting his he had that ACL, so it didn't even matter. But like I said, so far he's my biggest bust of all of it because you would think because he was going to get paired up with Jettas because they got rid of Kirk Cousins, you would think it would pan out. It hasn't. And then the crazier part is he's been throwing to Naylor, to which nobody cares about this man. He'll probably be a Viking for one more year. But he's throwing like he should always be looking for Justin Jefferson. And the fact Justin Jefferson has just been a complete shell of himself, and it's not his fault. Not
Never
his
thought about
fault
it.
is all. But it's okay. My saving grace is at least I made the playoffs this year. I made the playoffs, even with drafting JJ McCarthy. Because keep in mind, I had Mike Evans, Jameer Gibbs. I don't have George Pickens in that one. Hunter Henry was doing me some justice. Mike Wilson from Arizona was doing me some justice. I have Cam Scatterboo as well. So my team is pretty all right. I'm just saying. I can make a little noise. So I can own to mine. At least mine made sense. Like, at least it made
At
sense.
least it won't Justin Fields.
Like, exactly. Like, there was no way I was looking at Justin Fields like
Really?
this man was the leader of the revolutionary for quarterbacks. Like, oh, he can run and he can throw a ball. No, I'm not ever go sit here and say that about Justin Fields. I didn't believe in him in Chicago. I didn't believe it when he went to the Jets, and I damn sure I didn't believe in him when he was with the Steelers, even though he was legit with the Steelers. But yeah, that's where mine is. Mike, we got you the last one on the list.
So I've played a lot of fantasy. I'm in a lot of leagues. I make a lot of trades. You guys have, if you play with me in fantasy, you know I make some interesting moves. But they always have a purpose and most of them work out. I probably got an 85% success rate. The two trades that stick out to me that I immediately messed up. Number one was I was in a single season league, 12-man, two quarterback PPR league when this was like 3 years ago. And I traded Travis Kelsey had it was a one tight end league. I traded Travis Kelsey for Jared Goff. But Jared Goff was my third quarterback going into the playoffs. I lost the league literally because of that trade. I had nobody to start. I was starting like the backup of the Rams at that point. And I lost by like 8 points in the first round. And I had been undefeated before that. So that was the one that got away as far as the title because it was in my grasp. And I felt the need to have three quarterbacks, and I love having three quarterbacks, but I did it too late in the season to need three quarterbacks, and I don't know that I realized that at the time. Hindsight. I ended up winning it the next year, so it was fine. But the biggest one, the one that's almost as bad as Jordan's, it might even be worse than Jordan's. I can't believe I'm having to share this fantasy football bust with y'all. It was. I got offered Nico Collins for Trevor Siemian, and I turned it down. This is before Nico Collins was going. Nico Collins was a rookie, and he hadn't had any playing time. This is before he went off, and I had Trevor Siemian, and I wanted a draft pick for him, like a third round draft pick for him. And he was like, "Why don't I just give you Nico Collins? He's not doing anything." And I was like, "Nah, I need a draft pick." And then we don't end up doing a trade at all. He ended up picking a crappy quarterback up. The next year, Nico Collins goes for 1,400 yards.
Somebody trades you anything for Trevor Siemian, you press accept immediately. I don't care what it is.
Right. He was a starting quarterback and I was struggling. So I was trying to make something shake in that league.
Who was it for the Broncos?
Well, this one he was with the Saints.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was even worse. It was even worse than you think.
It still doesn't compare to mine, but that's bad.
At least I didn't draft him, but I could have had Nico Collins on my team and would have shaped up my whole roster. Now, for me, if you ask me the best trade I've ever made, I've made some amazing trades. Nick's been in my league. He could probably tell you the best trades I've made more than I can because
The
he gets
best
mad
trade is
about
that
it.
Justin Jefferson BS. I still can't believe he got Justin Jefferson for 2 nickels and a bag of potato chips. I was like, yo, who's offering this up?
Highway
Like, I
robbery.
had better players I could have
That's highway. Who did you trade? Who did you give up for Justin Jefferson?
So which league we talking? I'm in so many leagues. The one that I have Jetta's in right now, you talk about?
Yes.
Let me check. I got him in one of these leagues. Nick been mad about that trade for so long. Let me see.
Because, bro,
I'd be
traded.
mad too because you got
No,
Justin
this was
Jefferson
actually a
for
pretty good.
a
I
bag of
traded.
chips.
I traded. I traded T.J. Hawkinson, Marvin Harrison Jr., and a second for Justin Jefferson and Cole Kmet. That was one of them.
This past
two,
season,
two
This
nickels and a bag of chips.
that wasn't this
give me a
fast.
second. Hold on, give me a second. I need to to stand up for a second. Give me a second. Who the hell gave you that trade?
A lot of people give me good trades all the time. I trade a lot of people.
Hold on a second.
For example, last year I traded Kirk Cousins for Tank Dell, right when Tank Dell got injured.
Like I said, two nickels and a bag of potato chips out here.
Just give me 1 second. But these players, whoever was trading you this, they on drugs. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's what I said.
They need to be drug tested.
Yes, that's what I said. I said, how the hell are you getting these trades?
Then
And you get
I traded Aaron Jones, Isaiah Likely, a late first round pick, 2 late second round picks for Marvin Harrison Jr. That was one. That was a pretty good one for me. And then I traded in one of my leagues, the guy before me had the number 1 pick, and instead of drafting Bijan Robinson, he drafted Bryce Young.
that was crazy work.
That was a pretty fun one. Oh, probably one of my best trades. I traded AJ Green, Russell Wilson in the 3rd round pick for Dak Prescott. That was
Like I said,
my
bag
finest.
of potato chips. Because that was probably the year he went to Denver, wasn't it?
And then I traded Keon Coleman, a 4th rounder and a 2nd rounder for Sam Darnold, for example. Let me see what else I got.
But that one's kind of even.
Let me see what other interesting trades I got so far. I traded Kirk Cousins for Chris Olave in one of my leagues.
Crazy work.
I still
Well,
he gave me Chris Cousins.
why are we on it? Because I'm tired of hearing about Mike and his collusions. So why are we gonna move on? Why are we on the NFL?
Bryce Young.
Actually, wait. Like I said, we're on the road to 100 subscribers. We just passed 30. We're currently sitting at 34. We're trying to build something over here. Please, just as a quick smash of the like button, hit that subscribe button. If you like our authentic debates, no filters, no fake narratives, just real conversations, like I said, be part of the first 100. Hit that subscribe button. Day one's always matter. Now, shifting gears over to the NFL, and the NFL draft day can change everything. One pick can change a franchise. One mistake can set up a team back 5 years. Some teams are only one player away, while others are rebuilding from the ground up. But every April, hope resets, and front offices are either building contenders or pretenders and building up excuses. So the pressure is real because if you miss on this draft, your job, your season might be done before it starts. Is it better for a struggling team to draft for immediate impact or build patiently for long-term success? Jordan, you got the flow.
So boom. There is no good time or better time than the present. You draft for right now because there's no guarantee that these players are going to last for the long run. Unless you're like the Eagles and you get good picks every first round because Howie Roseman is the best owner ever. I mean, fly Eagles, fly go birds. But that's besides the point. You play for right now because there's no guarantee that your team's going to be good 5 years from now. You could build and build and build all you want, but like Nick said, there are teams that are always one draft pick away. There are teams that are also one injury away from getting crumbling down. I personally think that you need to just go for the gusto. What did the Rams owner say a couple years ago? F them picks. Yeah, that's how you have to go. You have to build for right now because You might have one chance to win the Super Bowl, and that's the year that you're currently in. Seattle found that out the hard way, and they won this year. They said, "Nah, we ain't wasting no more time. There's no better time than right now. We got all the pieces. You This isn't like basketball where you're able to control a lot of the variables and make things fall your way. This is football where there's a lot of unpredictability. Uh, a bad kick could blow wide right. Sorry, Buffalo. A throw could get tipped and it could be turned into an interception. You could play in the rain and get fumbled. Like there are so many things that could happen that are outside of your control. A lot of factors that you can't have a say in. But what you can have a say in is what you do at in that current time. Go for the title. Go for it now.
So I think it depends on the construction of your roster. You can afford to say F them picks. Most teams cannot. Um, and I think that depends where you're drafting, what positions are available. Like a few years ago, the Steelers had to draft Kenny Pickett because he was the only quarterback available at that time. And we needed a quarterback. Just like we need a quarterback now, we're gonna probably be stuck with Ty Simpson if we're lucky. Um, Me, I'm a big draft aficionado. Like I watch the draft like heavily. I watch the entire draft every year. It's a routine. My wife is always like, "Nope, you can go do that." I know that that's boring, and I'm like, "This is amazing." So we just see things a little different in that capacity. But um, it's because I play so much fantasy football and I'm constantly paying attention to draft reports, and I'm constantly doing mock drafts and mock ups for drafts, and I usually like I need to be able to bet on the draft and like who's gonna get picked because I'm really really good at that portion of the game. Um, I think that nowadays depth is matters more than having just one superstar that sounds amazing, unless it's at the quarterback position. So I actually think, like for example, look at the Rams that was on the F them picks. They won the title, right? Cool. Right after that, they was like, "Can we have more picks, more picks, more picks?" And they started trading back. Look at the Patriots. The Patriots built dynasties from trading back, trading back, trading back. Look at the um, Heck, I think Lynn Swan, if I'm not mistaken, was picked in the fourth round, or John Starworth was one of the two. Um, then you look at teams like the Chiefs being able to pick up a guy like Noah Gray in the fifth round, who's actually been a fantastic pickup. Getting Isaiah Pacheco in the fifth round, right? Getting you know just all types of gems that other teams don't have. The Rams getting Kyron Williams in the sixth round, for example, right? I think we have to understand that there's a lot of amazing players in the league in general, and it's vitally important that a team drafts correctly and does their due diligence on actually assessing what they really need. Because most teams in the NFL aren't one player away. And if they are, and that one player, God forbid, gets injured and they put all their chips in on that one player, they screw for years. They end up with a Justin Fields in the first round type of situation like Jordan had. So um, I think that it's interesting how drafts operate. Like for me, this year, for example, the Steelers have needs where they need a wide receiver, we need a cornerback, we need a quarterback. More than likely, even though we may start Will Howard or have another year of Aaron Rodgers, so we can go 6-12, just so
11-6.
just so that Jordan can shave all of his body hair while
11
parading
and
around
6.
in a Justin Fields jersey and having to also stand on top of the Macy's Day Parade float.
11
But
and 6.
we know that these things are all happening, like they're concurrent, right? But there's a compound effect because you could draft terribly, right? Or let's put an example. The Jets had the defensive rookie of the year and the offensive rookie of the year on the same team and was still trash. I'm just saying you could set a team up for failure if you don't get the depth piece right, much less hit on the superstars.
But that was because Aaron Rodgers got injured. That was a year where Garrett Wilson got you said rookie of the year, right? And Quinnen Williams was the defensive rookie. Yeah, that's the case. But Aaron Rodgers got injured the first play of the game.
Quinnen Williams was not defensive rookie of the year.
Oh,
Sauce Gardner was defensive rookie of the year.
Sauce Gardner. I forgot. You know how bad things are when you forget that Sauce Gardner was the rookie of the year. You forgot that he was there.
Yeah.
He had a shutout year too.
They had pieces. It just didn't matter a lot of the times. So, like, I think that, as I was telling you guys the other day, I think that the second round is the more critical round in the draft nowadays than the first. The first gets all the hype because that's where the money's at. But when you really go back and look at it, historically speaking, you want that player in the second round, specifically the quarterback in the second round. Examples of successful second round quarterbacks include Geno Smith, who's a multiple-time Pro Bowl quarterback, even though last season he was terrible. Include Derek Carr, who was a multiple-time Pro Bowl quarterback. Include Kirk Cousins, who was actually picked in the fourth round. Include I could probably keep going on in that capacity, but oftentimes the bust at quarterback position are oftentimes in the first round because they're picked so early. Oh, Jalen Hurts was a second round quarterback, right? And there's more examples in that regard. So quarterbacks keep getting pushed up because of a value perspective, but I think that it's important to understand that you need quantity in the NFL nowadays, especially because of all the injuries. I would go with depth over just a superstar player.
Some teams hit the lottery, like the Chiefs. I think they traded with the Bills. I think for that 10th pick, they picked Patrick Mahomes up, and everybody was wondering what in the world were they doing. But you see what Patrick Mahomes came up with, and I think they were going for the right now because even though Alex Smith was their guy, they were saying like right now, Patrick Mahomes is that dude that we're gonna look at in the future. But they're still present focused. A lot of teams try to play for that future, but there's no, like I said, there's no guarantee. Like I wish Baltimore had more of that mindset where they were focused on right now rather than years later. Because you don't know, Lamar Jackson want to stay in Baltimore. He might want to go back home to the crib in Florida and play for the Dolphins. You don't know. You want to keep your players.
Nobody wants to play for the Dolphins.
I thought that was Cleveland, but
nobody wants to play for the Dolphins or Cleveland. People go to Miami because it's Miami and they have fun. But do you want to go play for the Dolphins? No. The Dolphins are trash. The Dolphins are like how the Eagles were a few years ago. Just trash.
Two Super Bowls in 5 years. You gotta relax.
Yeah.
You've won 2, right?
Yeah, 1, 2.
Do I need to get that? Do I need to get the hat again?
But didn't y'all have that year where y'all went like 4-12 and y'all picked up Lane Johnson?
Do I need to get the hat?
I think it was 20. I think it was 2019 or something like that. 2020. I think
it was 20.
That's pretty recent. That y'all was extra double garbage.
That was 1 year.
But you know what's funny is the Steelers are going to have that year this season. So it's
that was 21. We went 4-12. That was 2021. We were like 4-12 or 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's recent. So you had.
But that was the year that we were substituting Carson Wentz for Jalen Hurts. Like that was a transitioning year. A lot of stuff was moving and shaking. And then what was it? 22. We played Tampa Bay in the playoffs and we lost. Then the year after that, we went to the Super Bowl. Then the year after that, I think we had
bounced by Tampa Bay again.
Yeah, bounced by Tampa Bay again, and then Super Bowl. So I mean,
you're a big Tampa Bay fan. That's what I'm hearing you say.
No.
Yeah,
good words.
I thought y'all was Buck fans for some reason.
No, you see the Eagles hat.
Since they got I heard y'all got that new smell from the Bucks. Y'all ain't heard about that smell? Called Bounce That Ass. Smell? Bounce That Ass?
Yeah.
The last time we played them, we won. So
I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
Sounds like they got y'all's number most of the time. I know this much. Y'all better hope that switching offensive coordinators makes y'all relevant again. Because last year was an utter disaster considering the level of talent that y'all had. I will say that, well, let the record show, I think that the Eagles on paper are the most talented team in the NFL.
I slightly disagree with that.
How? y'all are loaded on the defensive line, loaded on the offensive line, loaded at receiver. You have a Pro Bowl quarterback, and you have a superstar running back. What I'm going to say is cap if you don't think that they're the most loaded team in the NFL.
I don't. I think Detroit has a say in it. They
No, I
have
think
a
Detroit
say.
doesn't have the defense like y'all have.
Okay,
They're
well, I said this in the last episode. You wasn't here for it. If Detroit stays healthy, they might be one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL.
I agree with that. But
So
I
that's why I'm
also
saying, like
think that
on paper,
y'all are
I
And
defense.
can't.
Y'all are
and I
defense.
said that Dan Campbell is Detroit's weakness.
Oh, that's a fact. Yeah, Dan Campbell is the kryptonite for the Lions. He's also the reason that they win. So there's different colors of kryptonite.
Yeah, I was about to say, like
So
he just changes colors based on how he feels.
right,
But still,
he's on the
Yeah.
emotional spectrum.
And I said I still haven't forgiven them for how they wet the bed against San Francisco in that championship game.
Well, when they went on fourth down like 7 times, yeah, that was trash.
No, when they didn't kick field goals to get the lead or to make the lead more convincing, that way they could actually advance. But they kept on trying to go for it, go for it, go for it. Like, bruh,
Who did y'all hire as offensive coordinator?
Sean Mannion.
Sean Mannion. Apparently, the team likes him a lot.
Wasn't he at Oregon State?
He was the no. What you talking about? NFL wise, he was a Packers quarterback coach.
Yeah, but I feel like he was like a quarterback at Oregon State at one point. I don't know. That name just sounds really familiar. Either way, what I'm gonna say,
All right. Well,
it's
let
just
me.
gonna be interesting.
Yep, you're right. Oregon State University.
Yes,
Haha, look at that
yeah,
pool,
Oregon
baby.
State.
Look
Yes,
at that pool off the dome ski.
But
tall dude
to
too,
answer the
6'6".
question that I was asking, that I asked, I think Jordan's take was pretty wrong because here's why. Here's why. The Chicago Bears in the last 10 years has picked in the top 10 4 times. They're actually relevant now. The Jacksonville Jaguars have picked 4 times in the last 10 years. They're pretty relevant right now. Now, the Detroit Lions have picked 3 times in the top 10. Outside of barring injuries, we just talked about them. We could agree if they stay healthy, they could be a very dangerous team. The New York Giants picked 3 times. It's now should be 4 because they're in the top. They're in the top 10 now. So 4 times in the last 10 years in the top 10. Giants are about to be very dangerous. Now,
Dangerous to lose.
the Rams, considering they picked twice, they won a Super Bowl. The Lions went to did the Lions go? No, that was the Rams that went.
No.
The Rams went to 2 Super Bowls, lost one and won one. So I don't know. I think the answer is in the long-term waiting game because it's more sustainable. Like, keep in mind, Washington's only picked once in the last 10 years. And that one pick was Jaden Daniels that got them one game away from the Super Bowl. So
the only reason they got one game to the Super Bowl, they had a great run, but also Detroit didn't know how to win against themselves. They kept on beating themselves. Tampa Bay was a team that didn't really know how to handle clutch moments. In Chicago, Tyreek Stevenson was screwing around in the end zone, and that mayhem, not mayhem, that Jaden Daniels miracle could have went the other way. So I know the Commanders had a good season, but still, like I said, it's like that one moment could change everything. That's why you go for it now. Rather than
I'm sorry, I disagree. And here's why. Ownership matters.
Well,
When you
wait,
look at
one
it,
second, Nick. Quick question: didn't the Eagles do that year when they were talking about they were about to have the best team ever? When they had Vic and Namdi Asomugha spent like $200 million, and then they looked terrible. Didn't
look
that happen?
absolutely terrible.
that was the year that we had Chip Kelly as the coach, correct?
Oh, well, that's the reason. Chip
That
Kelly.
is correct.
That was
That is
like that
also
six
correct.
second or less offense. The first
Chip
game
Kelly.
looked beautiful, but after that, it was just pure garbage. We lost to the Saints in the first round.
Chip Kelly was terrible. I ain't gonna lie
Chip
to you.
Kelly got out coached. That's why we couldn't get past the Saints. He got out coached. That's all that was. So moving back to it, like ownership matters because again, without ownership saying, "Listen, we're gonna go through this with a fine tooth comb," because you still have the Browns being the Browns, 3 picks in the top 10 in the last 10 years, even though I think that's cap. The Jets 3 times in the last 10 years, I think that's cap too. The Titans, the Cardinals, like ownership matters here. I don't think, like Mike said, these teams are not one person away from becoming relevant. They're multiple pieces. Like I just pulled up what they need. Like, hold on 1 second. Let me pull this up.
Just to clarify,
Vegas.
what team are we talking about again?
Vegas.
Vegas?
Oh,
Yeah.
I talked about Vegas. Look, you got me on the reel out there for Vegas. They need a quarterback,
they need a team,
offensive line,
a
wide
state,
receiver.
a stadium,
They need everybody.
cheerleaders, commentary.
Jets need everything. Plus, Jets need a head. Well, they don't need a head coach. I actually like Aaron Glenn. He's a pretty good head coach. But they need a new owner, a new GM, a new offense coordinator, a new defensive
A new
coordinator. They need
city,
everything. Cardinals
new
need a
colors.
quarterback, offensive line, safety help, running back help, wide receiver help, edge rusher. Like Tennessee Titans, wide receiver, edge rush, cornerback, offensive line, running back. We talked about this. You need trenches help. If you can't win in the trenches, you not about to be a good team.
That's true.
We talked about this before. So, like these 4 teams,
Unless you
they're
pick
not.
Justin Fields, then you good.
Oh my God.
11-6.
Hey, I ain't got nothing to say on that.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Just took
11-6.
all I'm saying is,
He cures all odds. You didn't know that?
listen,
The
we
boy has
got time for that.
Band-Aid in his shoe. He's a
All I'm
cure-all.
saying is, teams need more than one pick. Hell, even the Patriots, who was just in the Super Bowl, they're not one player away. You know they need multiple. They need help in multiple
They
places.
need to let
They need a
Stephon
wide
Diggs go
receiver.
retire and make some more babies.
Oh my goodness, get out.
Because
Get time out, Mike.
this
Go
is
sleep.
he's
You're tired.
starting a Head Start program. I don't know if y'all know that.
Good Lord.
They
All
gotta
right.
have a certain count in
Antonio
order.
Cromartie got him beat, bro.
Either way, we got to move on
That's true.
to one of our last topics. We talked about it. We're going to make it very quick. Parities versus dynasties. Overall, parity is good for any sport whatsoever. However, dynasties solidify that championship mentality. It helps solidify runs. Overall, the general question is, are dynasties good for sports because they create greatness, or are they bad because they kill parity and excitement?
Mm. Who's going to start?
Go ahead, you can start, Jordan.
All right. So I like dynasties because it gives teams a story. There's some eras where some teams were great and they ran the whole show, like the Warriors in the late 20 teens. They had their year, and then 2022. It can get bad when you're a team like the New England Patriots in the NFL and when your division almost 17 out of 18 years. It could get that bad. So you got to have a thing of parity where it keeps the league fresh, it keeps the league interesting, and also it gives players different moments to shine rather than just having the same old team win every single time. Parity draws tickets, draws viewers, in my opinion.
So what I'll say is that I love that the Big Ten has been having a dynasty in college football the past 3 years. By dominating the SEC, specifically Alabama, who previously had so many dynasties. So
I can't catch a break, y'all.
So I think that Jordan's right. I do like the story of dynasties, but uh I think that's what makes March Madness so interesting because the parity is such a high level that anybody can win on any given day or any given Sunday or whatever, and it really feels like it's the moment that matters as opposed to just a dominant team. It depends on the team. I mean, do I like when the Steelers win a lot? Absolutely, that sounds great. Um, but since next year they're going 6-10, it's going to be a lot more parity in the league as a result of that. I think that the draft is kind of the great equalizer, and that's what makes the draft so cool. But it is interesting just to see how things shake out. But it depends on what type of setup you want. You want March Madness? That's going to be a parody type of opportunity. You want Alabama in the 2010s when nobody else could pay players, but apparently they could, then you end up with a dynasty. I think nowadays it's going to be difficult to have a dynasty in any type of league, especially based upon how the current setups are across all pro sports and across college football.
I agree with that because with the whole thing about the NILs and transfer portals and all of that, we all have to understand that it's very difficult for teams to repeat. We just talked about it earlier in the podcast. We haven't had a repeat champion at NCAA in almost 20 years. And the reason why we don't is because the entire team is either like the entire team isn't coming back that next year to run it back. That's just like Super Bowl champions. Like when you win a Super Bowl, you're not you're not expecting that team to come back. It's going to be different in some capacity, but yet somehow, some way, it if you're gifted with the ability to go back to back, you go back to back. So, like I said, I think dynasties help solidify that championship because we have a lot of teams that win championships and we go, oh, that's a fluke. 2020 Lakers, for example. Like there's a lot of people that'll look at that team and say, "Oh, put an asterisk up there because that was COVID and everybody won't playing their best." But that's the reason why it's one of the greatest titles out there because if you look at it, they had to spend time away from their families, away from their loved ones. They had to be separated and secluded effectively treated like lab rats in order to win a championship. And we're putting an asterisk up there because players was opting out. No, that's different. You had these group of players, these group of men that bonded together and said, "We're going to win a championship at the end of the day," which is why I do agree with the dynasty narrative because again, dynasty helps solidify championships. We talk about great teams. We talk about the Mount Rushmore teams. You look at these dynasties: the Steelers dynasty, the Kansas City dynasty, the Patriots dynasties, um, the Cowboys dynasties. Even though we ain't seen them since the golden age of the '80s, back when not Martin Luther, because he was dead by then. With all respect, uh, we ain't seen them. You might as well say since the '60s, because you don't know Cowboys fan actually remember, and the ones that do remember, they hitting Social Security by now. So if we're being fair, dynasties help strengthen that championship mentality. Um, I do believe parodies are fun. Say like college basketball and college football, those parodies are fun to watch because there's lots and lots of teams that are eventually competing to be number one. So when it comes to the college landscape, it's honestly, literally up to whoever's the best at that time. And like I said, NIL deals and transfer portals, it doesn't help for the dynasty look, but again, it helps on that parity aspect. But with that, that is our whistle for today. But the game never really ends. What you got, Jordan?
I have one thing to say. So I want to give a shout out to our fourth member, Marv. He did say he just got back home. He had been a bit under the weather, and we just want to say We appreciate you. We love you, Marv. We're glad that you're back home. Can't wait till you get back on the camera with us and talk more trash with us. But just want to let you know we're glad that you're back home.
Yes, sir. All right. This is to you, Marv. But thanks for spending your time with us, sharing opinions, passion, and a love for sports that goes beyond the scoreboard. If you like what you heard, smash that like button, share, follow, and join the conversation. Until next time, stay competitive, stay focused, and keep loving the game. This is Squad Sportcast. We'll see you all on the next play.